Last week, I did an episode on giving myself permission. And one of the things that came up was forgiveness. And forgiveness to me is like an octopus. There are just a lot of moving parts. But right now is the time for me to dive in and swim with this octopus and see what comes up. Check it out. A wise man once told me, there are 10 words that we can speak to change the world. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Some of those statements are very difficult to make. That last one, please forgive me, that one's spicy for me a lot of times. For whatever reason, lately, this forgiveness thing has continued to come up, and I want to investigate it further. And it reminds me of years ago when I investigated forgiveness. I was married at the time, and I felt very wronged. I experienced pain. I thought his behaviors were hurtful and harmful to me and to our marriage, and I was angry. I was angry. Like, to the point I called a therapist and I left a voicemail basically stating, I'm angry at my husband and I want to physically harm him. It scares me how angry I am, and I'd like you to call me back. Okay, that's a true statement. That is what happened. That is truth. I can't remember being that angry ever before, and I literally scared myself. I was shaking. I had a hard time thinking. I was certainly not being my best mother to my children during that time. It was an ugly, ugly space for me. And I knew I needed help because I knew I could not stay there for long. It didn't take long for me to admit to my therapist that what I wanted was for him to ask for my forgiveness. And he had not done that, in my opinion, up until that time. And I was pissed about that too. I was pissed about the original experience. And then I was pissed that he didn't ask for forgiveness. I was just pissed. The therapist asked me if I had expressed this to him, that I would like him to ask for my forgiveness. I was like, hell no. He's a grown man. He should know. I mean, damn. We've all learned since we were teeny tiny to say we're sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like, what the hell? No, I'm not going to ask him to ask me for forgiveness. That's ridiculousness. That's exactly what I said. Ridiculousness. I left that therapy session kind of pissed at my therapist as well. As I was leaving, I went by a gas station and I saw this little blip on the front of a little local newspaper. There was a seminar on forgiveness that coming up weekend. Oh, yes. Now that is what I'm talking about. I went home. I told my spouse, I was like, look, dude, we're going to this seminar this weekend. It's about forgiveness. And I think we need to check that shit out. Of course, in my headspace, I had nothing that I needed to learn in the seminar. It was all him, 100% him. We were going really for his benefit. That was the story in my head, because he needs to understand about forgiveness and learn how to ask for forgiveness. And maybe then I will possibly think about offering my forgiveness. That's where I was in my headspace. That Saturday afternoon came and we went to this little community center. There were some folding chairs set up and this little podium looking thing at the front. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, we're going to sit right up front. And we did. That is so out of character for me. If I am ever in some kind of group setting, I'm usually in the corner on the wall in the back trying to hide, but not today. We're going to go up front because this man to my left has some shit to learn today. We were there early. Why? Because I was excited. This man was going to be schooled in how to handle the situation because he had wronged me, and he had wronged me again by not asking for my forgiveness. And this is what we were there for him to understand. The room started to fill up a little bit. I was kind of geeked up about what we were getting ready to do. I felt like for sure this was going to help our marriage, for sure. And all of a sudden, to the front of the room walked this man in his priest outfit. And I was like, oh, shit. I don't know much about Catholics or Catholicism, but I feel pretty strongly they get into that forgiveness thing. You know, they have that whole confession booth, you know, and I'm not exactly sure what happens when you're in there or after you leave there, but I feel like it's a pretty big deal. And I was seriously excited. I was like, yes, this preach is going to school my husband today. The room got quiet. This older man with those wonderful wisdom wrinkles on his face, he started to speak in this nice, soft voice. He was like, you know, in the beginning, we work really hard because we want to earn our parents' praise. And then we go to school and we work really, really hard to earn an education, to earn a degree. And then we get out in the workforce and we work really, really hard to earn a living, to earn a paycheck. We get into relationships. We work hard to impress them, to make them like us, because we want to earn their approval, their attention, their time. Forgiveness, however, is different. Forgiveness is not earned. It is given. And I am sitting there like, are you kidding me right now? What in hell is this? What in hell is this? This is not what I thought I had signed up for. And I still had like another 57 minutes of this, okay? The man said a lot of things. I don't even know what he said because I was wallowing in my new anger at the priest man for not schooling my husband on how to grovel for forgiveness, because that honestly is what I wanted. I was angry. Okay, I was hurt. I felt betrayed and abandoned and alone and isolated. And I wanted to lash out. I wanted to hurt this man. I wanted to continue to punish this man. And I wanted him to beg me for forgiveness. That's the story in my head. Sitting in this uncomfortable, cold metal folding chair, listening to this priest ramble on about forgiveness is a relationship you have with yourself. What? I don't know. I wasn't feeling any of that. I was feeling angry. And to be honest, I wanted to keep feeling angry. Why? Because the anger was motivating to me. The anger motivated me to punish him and to cause him harm. Why? Because I wanted him to hurt. Why? Because I hurt. Hurt people. Hurt people. And I was really, really hurt, so I wanted to cause a whole lot of harm. And quite frankly, I was kind of entertained by it. I must have liked it because I didn't really want to leave that space. I wasn't done. Past that, to be honest, part of why I wanted to hold on to this anger, why I was not finished with my anger, why I wanted to feel angry, is because it felt like a protection, right? A shield around me. Oh, hell no. No. As long as I am angry at you, you cannot get close enough to me to hurt me again. As long as I continue to be angry with you, you are going to be on your best behavior and not hurt me again. I was using this anger as a shield. And it was heavy. It was heavy. At the end of this little seminar, I could not get out of there fast enough. Oh my God, there were tons of people there, so I had to kind of wait. It was like filing out of an airplane, because I was in the front row. I was going to be last to leave the room. And as I turned around, I felt it. The priest man touched me to grab my attention, on the shoulder. I was like, oh, damn it. I turned around. I was like, huh, yes? And he said, you look angry. I'm sure I did. I probably looked it, smelled it, acted it. Everything about me was angry. It was oozing out of my pores. And I'm like, yeah, I am. He went into the pocket of his robe, which, by the way, I didn't know the robes had pockets. Makes me like the robes a whole lot more. Anywho, he pulls out a business card. By the way, I didn't know priests carried business cards. Anywho, he hands me this card and he says, when you're tired of being angry, let me know. Give me a call. I can help you work through some of that if you would like. And I was like, yeah, well, it'll probably be a while. And then do you know what he said? He said, well, let me just give you a gentle reminder. Happiness is not the opposite of anger. Forgiveness is. And I just willied. That's when you like shake and you get chicken skin, goosebumps, whatever it is that you want to call it. I had a super willy and then I had chicken skin. I was like, oh, what in the hell just happened? I came here for this man to my left who's now watching this exchange with a shitty-ass grin on his face. I wanted him to be in pain, and now I'm leaving here having been schooled that happiness is not the opposite of anger. Forgiveness is.